The Las Vegas Aces, the team that revitalized the modern day super team in the WNBA. They went from dominating the league, winning back-to-back championships, literally having teams craft their roster in order to beat the Aces, is now the team that did not live up to expectations this year, and is a team that's one by one falling apart in front of our own very eyes.
If I told you that the WNBA's most dominant team is on the brink of collapse, the Las Vegas Aces, once the undisputed powerhouse of the league, now face an uncertain future. With free agency underway, the situation is looking increasingly dire. Key players are considering departures, and the front office is in disarray. How is Aces MVP A'ja Wilson coping with the unraveling of a team that once seemed unstoppable? From championship celebrations to internal chaos, the fall of the Aces is a staggering turn of events.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate, because that's how I get the best out of my team.
Meanwhile, while Vegas falters, a new challenger is rising. Indiana Fever, spearheaded by Caitlin Clark, are rapidly building a formidable team, backed by a revamped front office that's starting to make waves. Could we be witnessing a major shift in power within the WNBA?
And recently, they have been in the news for all the wrong reasons.
Let's take a closer look. Remember when the Las Vegas Aces were considered the crown jewel of the WNBA? Those days are quickly slipping into the past. Once a seemingly invincible dynasty, the Aces are now crumbling. It all began after a shocking early exit from the 2024 playoffs, when they were thoroughly outplayed by the New York Liberty. Their high-powered offense, once feared across the league, faltered when it mattered most. They saw a nearly 7-point drop in their offensive rating, and stars like Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray saw their shooting percentages plummet. It was as if they suddenly forgot how to play basketball.
We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, you got to make the moves necessary, whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that, because I really like that group. They were a pain in my ass, but I was a pain in their ass too.
But the playoff defeat was just the beginning of the team's unraveling. Now, the Aces are in freefall. Key players and staff are leaving, and the franchise is in total disarray. General manager Natalie Williams has departed, followed by her top assistants. It's becoming a mass exodus, and the team is scrambling to find stability. Amid this chaos, Kelsey Plum, one of the team's brightest stars, is reportedly considering a move. Rumors suggest she may leave the Aces for the Golden State Warriors.
Despite back-to-back championships and a deep playoff run this season, the Las Vegas Aces have fired general manager Natalie Williams.
Despite the Aces offering Plum a supermax contract worth $250,000 for the 2025 season and slapping a core designation on her, it seems her loyalty is wavering. Even with all that money on the table, she seems intent on leaving. It's a stark reminder that money doesn't always guarantee loyalty. How did the Aces fall so far so fast? Could their own success have contributed to their downfall? Consider this: back-to-back championships, a roster loaded with all-stars, and the glittering appeal of Las Vegas. It was enough to make anyone feel invincible.
What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
But while they basked in their success, the rest of the league was catching up. Now, the Aces are learning a hard lesson: success can be fleeting, and sometimes pride goes before the fall. Big question now is whether the Aces can recover, or if this marks the end of their reign as the WNBA's top team. It's almost as if their rise to dominance set the stage for their own undoing. Who would have thought that being on top could lead to such a spectacular collapse? The saying goes that everyone wants to sit on an empty throne, but in the case of the Aces, it's more like a sinking ship with no one at the helm. The front office, once a hive of activity, now seems like a ghost town. Who might be the last person standing?
We talked a lot of smack last year. I'm sure they heard it, and they got to smack us this year. So, for us, we will have a long off season.
Head coach Becky Hammond. But can one person alone steer the ship through such troubled waters? Let's break it down. Free agency is in full swing, but who is actually making the decisions for the team? The Aces are still without a general manager, and the franchise is left in limbo. The Aces' once promising future now hangs in the balance. With key players eyeing exits, the front office in disarray, and a new wave of contenders emerging, the team's dominance is anything but certain. Will they be able to right the ship before it's too late? Or is this the beginning of the end for the Las Vegas Aces? Only time will tell. Let's shift the focus to Becky Hammond, who's eyeing a bold move for the Las Vegas Aces, a Cheryl Reeve-style takeover, assuming both the head coach and general manager roles. It's a power play, no doubt, but is it too much, too soon? Hammond has already hinted at sweeping changes, saying, "We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, identify."
The WNBA's newest franchise, the Golden State Valkyries, have named Natalie Nakase as their first ever head coach.
Our shortcomings, and then make the moves necessary. Sounds like someone gearing up to clean house. But here's the catch: while Hammond is preparing for a leadership overhaul, her former assistants are jumping ship. Natalie Nassi, for instance, she's making waves with the Golden State Valkyries, a team that recently appointed the first Asian American head coach in WNBA history, a monumental moment for the league. Meanwhile, Tyler Marsh has gone from smooth sailing in Vegas to navigating the tumultuous waters of the Chicago Sky. Challenges Marsh now faces are daunting, with locker room.
Chicago, as we just said, has Tyler Marsh as their head coach. He was also an assistant for the Las Vegas Aces, so that's caused a lot of back and forth because they've had two now assistant coaches leave. Natalie Nakase is now the head coach of the Valkyries.
Dynamics that resemble a mutiny more than a well-oiled machine. High tensions in Chicago mean Marsh's task is far from easy. Back in Las Vegas, the Aces are in deep trouble. Despite their best efforts, they've yet to find credible replacements for Becky Hammond's top assistants. Like watching a sinking ship with only the captain at the helm, everyone can see disaster on the horizon, but no one can look away. The rest of the league is circling like sharks, sensing blood in the water. This leadership vacuum isn't just a minor issue for the Aces, it's a massive hole in the foundation of their dynasty, one that threatens to sink their championship hopes faster than they can address it. The Aces are doing their best to keep their empire afloat, but
We don't have it every year. It's not the way this works. You don't get to flip a switch. It's the beautiful thing about sports, actually. The work and the commitment and the buy-in and the play hard and the want to and the will always show up in the end.
the water is rising quickly, and they seem powerless to stop it. Big question now is whether Becky Hammond can patch the leaks and save the team, or if the Aces' reign will soon be reduced to nothing more than a memory. And then there's Kelsey Plum, the Aces' sharpshooting guard, whose playoff performance was as cold as a Vegas winter. In a crucial game against the Liberty, Plum managed just 6 points on a dismal 2 of 9 shooting. It was a stark contrast to her regular season averages of 17.8 points and 4.2 assists per game, not to mention her impressive 36.8% shooting from beyond.
Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
The arc. Plum set to enter free agency, it's a foregone conclusion that numerous teams will be vying for her services, potentially pulling her away from Sin City. But the drama doesn't end there. Veteran forward LaWandria Clark, a cornerstone of the Aces' success, is grappling with the emotional toll of the chaos engulfing the team. When Tyler Marsh departed for Chicago, Clark didn't just lose a coach, she lost a mentor and a friend who had been a pivotal part of the Aces' success. And then there's Tiffany Hayes, the experienced guard who came out of retirement to chase a championship with the Aces. Now an unrestricted free agent, Hayes' future with the team is uncertain.
It seemed like A'ja Wilson was diminishing the accomplishments of players like Kelsey Plum and Paige Bueckers and someone who is her teammate. It felt like she was giving Kelsey Plum a backhanded compliment. And a lot of people, Aces fans, WNBA fans, Kelsey Plum fans, across the board really had a problem with this video, and it really left a sour taste in their mouth.
Will she return for another shot at glory, or is she ready to walk away from the franchise's turmoil? This situation is more precarious than ever, with a shifting roster, a leadership crisis, and uncertainty looming over every move. Let's not forget about Kate Martin, the Aces' promising young prospect, who was unexpectedly.
Moving on to the Las Vegas Aces, another big storyline in this draft was that Kate Martin was drafted to the Golden State Valkyries.
Taken by the Golden State Valkyries in the expansion draft. In a stunning turn of events, Martin wasted no time packing her bags and, within 48 hours, was headed to San Francisco to start a new chapter with the Valkyries. Meanwhile, Becky Hammond has been making waves with her not-so-subtle criticisms of her players. Openly called them out for caring more about their Instagram followers than their free throw percentages, as if she were coaching a group of influencers rather than elite athletes. Cracks are widening, and now we're watching the once dominant Aces desperately trying to hold their roster together before it completely falls apart. It's starting to feel like a high-stakes game of musical chairs, where, when the music stops, they might not have enough.
The whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months, and my players are in commercials and this and that and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted.
Players to fill a starting five. The Aces locker room, once a place of celebration after championships, has quickly devolved into one of bitterness and tension. It's anyone's guess how they'll recover from this unraveling. If you think the drama on the court is bad, wait until you hear about the off-court antics. The Aces' game day issues now look like child's play compared to the chaos unfolding behind the scenes. It isn't just drama, it's a full-blown Las Vegas spectacle, threatening to overshadow the team's performance on the court. Get the glitz and glamour. The Aces are now offering a different kind of entertainment.
So the WNBA suspends Becky Hammond for 2 games. They lose a first-round pick in 2025 because Derek Hamby says she was bullied for being pregnant, body shamed, just really harassed.
And it's certainly not the kind anyone's betting on. The team is not only losing games, but they're also losing public goodwill at an alarming rate. Seems they've opted for collecting scandals rather than chasing championships first. There's the Becky Hammond situation. In 2024, Hammond filed a pregnancy discrimination lawsuit against the Aces and the WNBA, alleging mistreatment for wanting to start a family. The Aces and the league are trying to dismiss the accusations. Their defense is shakier than a rookie's first playoff game. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Becky Hammond, once heralded as the coaching savior, got benched herself after making some ill-advised comments about Hammond's pregnancy.
But we would like to offer each of you, individually, a sponsorship for this year in the amount of $100,000. The offer is really simple. We want you to just play. We want you to keep repping Las Vegas.
The league deemed her remarks a workplace violation. As for the Aces, they're disappointed, but at this point, it's hard to believe they're shocked by the turn of events. It gets even wilder. The league has opened an investigation into whispers about potential under-the-table benefits allegations of salary cap.
On top of that, the league is investigating the Aces for potential salary cap circumvention. Back in May, the Las Vegas Convention Authority gave each of the players an additional $100,000 to basically be active in the community.
Violations, improper player perks, and more. These accusations hold any merit. The Aces could be facing fines, lost draft picks, or even more severe consequences. This is a scandal that could take down more than just the team's reputation. It could threaten the foundation of their entire franchise. And then there's A'ja Wilson, the face of the Aces. Once, her biggest problem was deciding which championship ring to wear. Now, she's watching her team's reputation crumble faster than a house of cards in a Vegas windstorm. From basking in the glory of victory to now playing.
Everybody can be good here and there, but who can be great every single game, every possession? And that's what I'm striving for.
Full-time damage control, Wilson's life has taken a sharp turn. Winning can heal many wounds, but even a championship parade can't erase the weight of this much off-court drama. Aces are learning the hard way that what happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas, especially when you're losing both on and off the court. Wilson's journey, once marked by smiles and humility after her MVP win, has become much more tumultuous. Fans and analysts alike are questioning whether the pressure of a crumbling dynasty is starting to take its toll on her. Behavior has shifted from being the golden girl of the WNBA to someone whose sideline tears and heated exchanges with referees are now making headlines. Even her social media presence has changed, with passive-aggressive posts hinting at frustration and concern. Aggressive comments and sharp clapbacks at critics have replaced the inspirational posts.
Come on, Andy, you know the question for that. You know the answer for that.
A'ja Wilson was once known for. One fan even tweeted, "What happened to our humble MVP?" Wilson's response? A simple eye roll emoji. Here's the reality: when you're the face of a franchise, every eye roll, scowl, and frustrated outburst is amplified. Recently, Wilson has been giving fans plenty of those. It's no longer just about her performance on the court, it's about her attitude, and, frankly, it's not a great look. Inside the Aces locker room, opinions are divided. Some teammates admire Wilson's fierce competitive spirit, while others are less than.
I always knew A'ja Wilson was overrated. Eric, let me see your resume. That's what I thought.
Thrilled by her recent behavior. As one anonymous player said, "It's like walking on eggshells sometimes." You never know what's going to set her off. And coach Becky Hammond, typically Wilson's biggest supporter, has been unusually quiet about her star player's recent antics. However, reading the lines of her comments, it's clear there are growing concerns about the team's focus and overall dynamic. When asked about Wilson's behavior, Hammond offered a simple response: "We're all working on being better versions of ourselves. The truth is that Wilson's attitude has transcended a personal issue. It now mirrors the larger challenges facing the Aces." As the team faces ongoing controversy, Wilson's demeanor reflects the franchise's overall decline. Almost as if the Aces' unraveling is playing out before our eyes, expressed through her eye rolls and
playing a league where you're targeted like that. How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
Technical fouls. One has to wonder, is this the real Wilson emerging under pressure, or is she cracking under the weight of trying to keep together a team that seems to be falling apart? Either way, it's clear that the burden of being the team's star is taking a toll on her. In stark contrast, Caitlin Clark's arrival in Indiana has shaken the WNBA. Indiana Fever, once considered one of the league's weakest teams, are now the team to watch. This transformation begins with Kelly Koff, who's returned as team president, reigniting the Fever's golden era. Under Koff's leadership, including their 2012 championship and 13 playoff appearances in 17 seasons, the Fever are poised for something big. But they didn't stop there. Indiana Fever made bold moves to reshape their franchise.
There's something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
Bringing in Amber Cox as general manager, a powerhouse with connections that rival even the best in Hollywood, in pulling off the ultimate homecoming by rehiring Stephanie White as head coach. It isn't just any coach, she's an Indiana basketball legend. Having played for Purdue and the Fever, she also led the team to the WNBA Finals in 2015. With White back at the helm, the Fever are on a clear path to success.
The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012.
Caitlin Clark's debut season has been nothing short of extraordinary. She broke 62 records, injected boundless energy into the team, and drew the attention of the entire league. But beyond the impressive numbers, Clark's leadership has been transformative, revitalizing the Fever's culture. The promising core that includes emerging talents like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever's future looks incredibly bright. The team's focus on fostering a supportive environment is already yielding results. Their strategy is centered on long-term growth, building chemistry, and attracting free agents seeking stability and clear direction. There's growing buzz in the WNBA about Indiana's revitalized front office and Clark's magnetic influence, which have positioned the Fever as a highly sought-after destination for top-tier talent. Fever aren't just collecting players, they're creating a culture grounded in teamwork, player development.
We are at a point where we have an attractive group, we have a great organization, we can attract a few free agents to come here and bolster and keep us on the path that we're on.
And a winning mindset stands in stark contrast to other teams in the league that are dealing with internal turmoil. Fever's rebuild isn't just about winning games, it's about reshaping the entire WNBA landscape. Proving that with the right leadership, a solid culture, and a generational talent like Clark, a franchise can turn its fortunes around faster than most expected. The WNBA landscape is shifting dramatically. The once dominant Aces struggle with internal issues, the Fever are emerging from the ashes, driven by Clark's leadership. As the Aces face the consequences of their internal strife, the Fever are showing what happens.
Honestly, it makes me smile in return. Like, for me, I'm just myself. That's what I try to be. I try to just be a great role model for them, and I think it speaks to how I was raised as a kid. Is, you know, I've loved every second of playing sports, but also my parents always preach there's so much more to life than just sports.
When talent is matched with smart, effective leadership, this transformation could redefine the league's power dynamics for years to come. In the WNBA, today's underdogs can quickly become tomorrow's champions. A new era is here, and it's scorching hot. Are you excited? Let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a thing. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.